Hello, this is Emma from Body Love HQ, and I wanted to take you through a little presentation I've created called How to Beat Diet Culture with Body Love, and also an introduction to the Body Love method. So, as someone who has suffered from body image issues like so many women around the world, I really wanted to share with you a little bit about diet culture and what it is, because a lot of people don't know what that is, and how we can actually attain a happier life and even a healthier life through a compassionate approach to our bodies, which is what I call body love. So I hope you enjoy this presentation.
Can you give me a couple of words to describe your body?
Not perfect.
Wobbly,
Stumpy.
very average.
Short?
I don't like my thighs. I think my thighs are a bit big. Not nice to look at.
I don't like this body like now, really.
Wish I could cut this off or something.
I hate it. I feel disgusting.
Disgusting.
I feel disgusting.
That's a word that is used by a lot of women to describe their bodies. And to be honest, it makes me really, really sad, because in reality, our bodies are incredible things. I mean, they keep us alive every single day. They help us to breathe, they beat our hearts, they digest our food. You know, if we're able bodied, we can walk and hug people. It's actually an incredible thing, our body. But so many women are spending their lives feeling like they're disgusting. And it really does impact their lives in so many ways. And that's why I'm on a mission to really help women see that their bodies are incredible and that they're able to be looked after with love and respect instead of with this feeling of disgust. And that clip came from the movie Embrace, which is a documentary by an Australian woman named Taryn Brumfitt. And I highly recommend you go and check it out if you haven't seen it before. The thing is, we're not actually born hating our bodies. It's not something that is innate to us. It's something that is learned. And there's a study from 1995 or the 1990s that shows this. So prior to 1995, there was a province of Fiji that had never had television. And they interviewed all the girls, well, not all the girls, but they interviewed a selection of the girls, teenage girls in that province before TV. And the girls said that they were really proud of their strong, robust bodies. And if they saw someone who was thin, they were actually quite worried about them because they thought maybe they were sick or there was something wrong with them. And up until the mid-90s, there had been one reported case of anorexia in the whole of Fiji. So in 1995, TV came to this province. So people were exposed to TV shows from the US and the UK and Australia and New Zealand. And within just 3 years of television arriving, 74% of the girls said they thought their bodies were ugly and they wanted to change their bodies. They thought they were fat. And 15% of the girls were reporting self-induced vomiting in just 3 years. And the girls did say that it was completely because of television. They said that they didn't look like the women on TV, so they weren't happy with their bodies. So very quickly we saw the beauty ideal in a country change because of Western media. And not only does it mean that we want to be thinner, because apparently that's what makes us happier and healthier, it can also erode things like cultural things that people used to be proud of. So for instance, you know, the curly hair of the Fijians was no longer seen as beautiful. So this picture I've just put on the screen is from a recent beauty queen from Fiji, and you can see how much has changed in just such a short period of time. Their ideals of beauty have changed. So what happened here? Well, it's something that's called diet culture, and it surrounds us all the time. You may or may not be aware of it, but it's that thing or those set of things that make us believe that thinner equals happier and healthier and more beautiful. But really, that's a complete construct of society. There are still cultures around the world that value larger bodies. And it is possible to be healthy no matter your size. But diet culture wouldn't let us believe that. We're surrounded by images and ads and TV shows of all these thin, happy, beautiful women. And the overarching information we get from the news media is that we need to be thin to be healthy. This is totally a construct of society, as I said, particularly in the 20th century through advertising and big pharma, because we know diets don't work, but how perfect is it? If we're always on a diet and it doesn't work, it means we need to try the next one. So it's a brilliant way for lots of different organizations and companies to make money out of us. And that's what diet culture is. So let me give you some examples of what is diet culture and what we don't even realize is diet culture until it's pointed out to us. So it's this idea that we're in a battle with food. There's good food and there's bad food. And we're trying to battle against the bad food and only eat the good food. It's this idea that thin, beautiful people can be happy and can jump for joy. So you can see in this picture, she's thin and she's happy and it's amazing. We would never see a photo like this of a larger bodied person. It just doesn't happen. Does that mean they're not allowed to be happy and joyful? How about this one? A couple exercising, they're ripped and they're strong. And these kind of pictures make us believe that you can only exercise if you're ripped and you're strong, or the only reason to exercise is to get ripped or to get strong. And I think this is hilarious because they look so unhappy, whereas moving our body should be quite joyful. And it really brings up that idea of no pain, no gain. There's the only reason to exercise is to get hardcore, fit and healthy and ripped. And that's simply not true. Well, this one has to be one of my favorite memes around on the internet of all these women giggling hysterically because they're eating salad. Now, there's nothing wrong with salad, but I've never heard one tell a joke. So why are these women laughing hysterically as they're eating their salads? It's again to make us believe that being healthy makes us happier, and being healthy means we need to eat salad, and that's all you're allowed to eat. So when you start looking at these pictures and start to see them outside of their context, you can see that they're kind of a bit ridiculous. And this is the sort of stuff we're fed all day long in this diet culture society we live in. So what's the result of diet culture? There was a study done by Dove in 2016, and this is the results that are specifically for Australian women. 89% of women in Australia and 80% of girls are opting out of life-engaging activities like hanging out with friends or going to job interviews because they don't like the way they look. 9 in 10 women and 7 in 10 girls stop themselves from eating or otherwise put their health at risk, like not going to the doctor, because they don't like their bodies. 5 in 10 women and 7 in 10 girls have not been assertive in their opinion or stuck to a decision because of body image issues. They're worried because they don't look pretty enough or thin enough that they won't be taken seriously. The Mission Australia National Youth Survey has revealed that body image is being listed in the top 3 concerns for young Australians from 2009 to 2015. There should be other things they're worried about, really. A long study on women's health found that only 22% of women within a normal healthy weight range reported being happy with their weight. Almost 3/4 desired to weigh less, including 68% of healthy weight and 25% of underweight women. And we know that poor body image is associated with increased probability of engaging in dangerous dietary practices and weight control methods, excessive exercise, substance abuse, and unnecessary surgery to alter appearance. So, because of diet culture and because of the way we feel about our bodies, women are opting out. They're not living their dreams. They're not putting themselves out there. They're putting their health at risk by not eating enough food or by not going to see the doctor because they're worried they're going to get body shamed there as well. And they're not being assertive. And particularly when I think about our teenage girls not standing up for themselves, I do worry about what sort of positions they're putting themselves in. But even for women, we're not being assertive, we're not standing up for ourselves. Perhaps that's one of the reasons why there's a gender pay gap. So what solutions do we have? This is a huge problem because, as I've pointed out, diet culture is everywhere. People talk about food and diets and losing weight all the time. So what are the solutions? First of all, I want to point out the movement that is body positivity. And this is the idea that all bodies are deserving of love and respect, no matter the size, shape, weight, age, gender, sexual orientation, health status, or fitness level. It's the idea that all bodies are deserving of love and respect, and that beauty is a construct of society. So understanding that there is a growing movement of people that believe this, and even just deciding right now that you want to be one of them, is the first step. Secondly is an amazing movement or even health regime called Health at Every Size. So this has been created by Linda Bacon. I love her name. She is a PhD from the US, and she has done a lot of study around weight and, the way people with larger bodies are discriminated with, and just how we can actually be healthy at any size, and that being thin is not the most important factor of health. So she has created a protocol which is called Health at Every Size, which helps people understand their hunger cues so that they can eat in a non-restrictive way, but in a way that's suitable for their body, and also how to move gently and lots of other things. And so the idea behind Health at Every Size is to take care of your body with compassion instead of the diet culture way, which is usually restriction and punishment, restricting food and punishing ourselves with exercise. So Linda Bacon has done a 2-year study, and she had 2 groups of people. One group was doing the Health at Every Size regime, and the other group was doing the diet culture dieting kind of regime. And with the people that did the Health at Every Size, at the end of the 2-year program, they had decreased their blood pressure, decreased their cholesterol levels, decreased their LDL cholesterol levels, and also decreased symptoms of depression. But the dieters, they got some great results initially, but within the first year, they had gone back to where they'd started. So it just sort of shows that the Health at Every Size protocol is much easier to maintain over a longer period of time, and you'll get benefits over a longer period of time. Whereas dieting, you get some initial results. That's why we all get into dieting, but you'll go back to where you were much faster than taking a Health at Every Size approach. She also showed that the Health at Every Size group really increased their self-esteem and self-worth and felt better about themselves after the 2-year period. Whereas the dieters, they actually had their self-esteem drop They became less self-confident over that 2-year period. And 92% of the health at every size people lasted the distance of the 2 years of the program, whereas 42% of the dieters dropped out. So again, it's much more sustainable to take care of yourself with compassion, as opposed to this diet culture mentality that most of us have been used to doing. And I've created a method as well, the Body Love method. And it's funny, I actually created this before I knew about health at every size. But these were the practical things that I have learned through my studies, because I'm a personal trainer and I'm a health coach and a yoga teacher, but also through my spiritual practices. I'm also a reiki master. So the Body Love method really combines the best of taking care of ourselves physically, but also taking care of ourselves emotionally and spiritually with a self-compassionate spin on things, as opposed to what diet culture recommends. So just quickly, the Body Love method has 3 main parts: the engage and release, which is engaging in body love, deciding you want to be body positive towards yourself, and then releasing all of those old patterns and all the old mentality around diet culture. So in this area, we do intentions, decluttering, forgiveness, and positive anchors. Then we move into explore and support, and we look at new ways to look after our body and our minds that are not just rooted in the diet culture industry. So things like chakras and meditation and journaling and looking after ourselves with self-care. And finally, we're ready to love our bodies. So we want to take care of our bodies with love. And so we do want to talk about movement. And I use the word movement instead of exercise for a reason. Fuel. So fuel instead of food, again for a reason. Daily rituals, and up-leveling. But I just want to take you through a couple of the parts of the Body Love method so you can see why they are part of this self-compassionate approach. So the first thing is meditation, and we know meditation can help us physically with things like blood pressure and controlling diabetes, but it can also help with emotional and mental health, which we of course know as well. But a study from 2014 showed that meditation also helps with feelings of self-compassion and with feelings of body confidence and body acceptance. So not only will meditation help us with all the things we've known about before, it really will help us learn to accept and love ourselves exactly as we are. So it can be an amazing tool to use in this whole body acceptance regime. The second one is journaling. So journaling is fantastic, again, for helping us process emotions and stress. But what it also does is helps our immune system. So because we let go of the stress by writing it out or journaling it out, we actually reduce the levels of stress in the body, which means our bodies can function better. So Dr. James Pennebaker and Dr. Joshua Smythe have done studies to show that journaling can help with things like rheumatoid arthritis, asthma, and even HIV/AIDS and the symptoms around those illnesses, but also in your immune system overall. Forgiveness is an incredible practice, which is obviously more of a spiritual practice. There are many ways you can practice forgiveness. And I just have to say, I'm not saying forgiveness is condoning bad behavior, but it's letting go of the idea that the past can be any different. And when we do this towards ourselves and towards other people, it really helps us physically, because it can help with blood pressure as well and help with depression and those kind of things. But it can also help us on a spiritual level to become more self-accepting and more able to be compassionate towards ourselves. So an amazing practice. And of course, movement. And as I mentioned before, I don't call it exercise because that word exercise can conjure up that idea of punishing ourselves, no pain, no gain. Those people that were in that picture I showed earlier that do not look happy. So I want to think about movement. So, going for a walk, just a gentle walk, or having a dance in the kitchen, or playing with your kids. That's all forms of movement. You don't have to go to a gym. You don't have to go to a class to get the benefits of movement. Although if that's fun for you, please go ahead and do it. But I'm just trying to help people understand that there's more ways of looking at movement than just what diet culture tells us. But I guess the biggest thing we can do is create a ripple effect. And what I mean by that is have more and more people talk about body positivity and health at every size and body love than the amount of people now that are talking about diet culture. I mean, diet culture has become so normalized that we don't even know we're doing it. We don't even know that we're feeding this machine. So let's change that around. Let's get to a point where we don't even realize we're talking about body love anymore, that people are accepting of each other and different body shapes in each other, but also accepting of themselves and learning to take care of our bodies with compassion and love, because we know that that's going to actually lead to greater health benefits. And I just have to say an amazing shout out to these women. These are some of the women, not all of the women, who have joined me in creating this ripple effect. And that's through the Body Love Coach 12-month certification course. So this is a 12-month course that teaches women and men about the Body Love method, how to teach the Body Love method, how to use the Body Love method for themselves, and then also how to share that method with marketing, coaching skills, and everything you need to create a new business, which is a Body Love Coach business. So I have had the program approved through the International Institute for Complementary Therapists, which means that my students can get access to a professional association and insurance when they finish the course, which means that they can set up business and be a body love coach in the future. I'm going to say some of the women that are studying the course at the moment, they may choose not to have a business, but they have learned the body love method and know how to spread this message and this ripple effect throughout the world. So think about it for yourself. How can you further the ripple effect of body love? You know, does it start with you and how you treat yourself, or could you start sharing the message with other people, or pulling people up if they're getting all diet culture on you? There's so many ways that you can create and further the ripple effect of body love. And here are some ideas. You could share this video. I'd love you to share this video with someone who might be like-minded and want to learn more about body love. You can start one new body love practice. So I mentioned a few of them before: meditation, journaling, movement, forgiveness. What's one thing that you can do for yourself now to help increase body love in your own life? And of course, consider becoming a body love coach. The 12-month course is there for you. And if that's what you feel like you could do, that would be amazing to help spread the ripple effect of body love around the world and to ditch diet culture forever. So you can get more information about the coaching course at bodylovehq.com/academy. Thanks so much for listening and watching the video, and please share it with a friend or choose one new body love practice that you can do and consider becoming a body love coach. I'd love to see you in the academy. Thanks for watching.